Hi folks, this is Steve the Cardboard Cultist bringing you an Eldritch horror session where I go up against Cthulhu. The Doom track starts at 12. Cultists aren't going to be too much of a problem, but we'll be pecking away at our sanity if we have to combat them too much. The main concern though is late game sea movement and sea control as Cthulhu increases his influence over the map. Now I'm going to be using two investigators. The first investigator is the musician Jim Culver, and he's got quite well-rounded stats, decent lore, influence and will. He's not got great strength, but he starts with a spell, and hopefully we can get some good spells late game to pull off some damage. The second character is Sister Mary. She's got reasonable stats, especially goodwill, but importantly she starts with a holy water item which we can turn into a blessed condition early in the game. So we're just starting with setup now, and we get our first mystery, and that is Riley's Risen. When this card enters play, we're going to put a mystery token on space 3. I actually use an Eldritch token, but don't worry about that. And importantly, we're going to have to complete a special encounter down there. So Sister Mary trades in her holy water for a blessed condition, and she's going to try and close that gate in Sydney. Meanwhile, Jim's going to start making his way down towards that first mystery. Unfortunately, Sister Mary rolls snake eyes and is delayed and unable to close the gate. Meanwhile, Jim's heading down to the Amazon, and he's going to pick up a clue through a research encounter. And Sister Mary's going to take a second go at closing that gate, and this time she's successful. We get a Rumour Mythos card, and that's up in space, I believe 13. Now unfortunately this rumour means that until we complete that, no more gates can be closed, which is a real problem. Our second Mythos card isn't much better either. This one is the Bermuda Triangle, and once we've resolved everything else, we find out that Jim gets pushed up to the sea space just by Arkham. Thankfully we can move Sister Mary across, and we can still try and get that mystery done. But once more, she's unsuccessful, and we spawn a monster there, but she's going to stay there and try and get it next time round. Meanwhile, we've drawn another Rumour Mythos on space 11, and we've sent Jim down to try and deal with that so that Sister Mary can just focus on getting this first mystery done. She's having a little bit of trouble, and sometimes these special encounters are quite difficult. So even though we're a little bit behind, I'm not too worried, and I know we're going to get there in the end. So Jim completes the rumour, and Sister Mary finally completes that first mystery, and from here we're going to move on to the second mystery once we've wrapped up the Mythos phase. And the second mystery we draw is The Stars Are Right. So when this card enters play, all of the clues move to the nearest sea space, and what we're going to have to do is complete research encounters and get 2 of those clues onto the mystery card itself to complete that. Now you'll notice just below Arkham we've got 2 clues already there, so both of our guys can get up there and try and get this one done in quick time. Now if you notice up on space 13 where we did have a rumour earlier, we've managed to get that completed even though we didn't interact with it, and this was thanks to a card we drew just before we completed the first mystery that allowed us to close that rumour. Meanwhile, we've got Jim working away on those 2 clues, and we're going to have Sister Mary joining him right now. But things are starting to get difficult. Jim's starting to rack up some nasty conditions, and the Doom track is slowly working its way down to 0. So we're under a lot of pressure now. Despite that pressure, we do manage to get the second mystery solved, and we're going to head right into the final mystery now, which is Watching the Stars. And this sees us spawn the epic monster Scylla or Cthulhu, which I believe is Cthulhu's daughter. Now for some reason at this point I think it's a good idea to send Jim straight in there and go head to head with her, but unfortunately he's got absolutely no chance, and he's torn limb from limb in pretty quick fashion. Now he was in a pretty bad shape before that encounter. He'd racked up a ton of negative conditions and was in all kinds of trouble, so I'm not really sure that it mattered. As a final throw of the dice and to play out the game, I bring in Mark Harrigan the soldier, who can do a ton of damage to any creature, but he's got to get down there, which seems very unlikely at this point. Meanwhile, we're going to send Sister Mary in to go toe to toe with Cthulhu and see what she can do. Now her blessed condition and various modifiers mean she manages to get 2 damage on the creature, which considering it's only got 4 health is pretty good, but nothing can stop the inevitable rise of Cthulhu, and here he comes in his awoken form. I was hoping we could have taken Cthulhu out before Cthulhu finished us off, but unfortunately that wasn't to be. Sister Mary did all she could, and Mark Harrigan just couldn't get down there quick enough. So we managed to complete 2 mysteries, but that third and final mystery just eluded us at the end. So as we leave Sister Mary and Mark Harrigan to eternal damnation and rule under Cthulhu, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. But until next time guys, take care and thanks for watching.